I wanted to open up the conversation about how women are seen, valued, and made to feel in pop culture and their professional industries.
Shout out to the women of the world, bounce your necks.
As a woman, have you ever experienced gender discrimination throughout your professional industry?
Definitely, yeah. Not so much in my professional, as in day-to-day job. The voluntary sector tends to be quite female heavy. There's a lot of women in it. But definitely within my dance life, particularly in the metal and rock industry, the way people talk about performances when you're a woman is different to if you're a man, which is interesting. A lot of men, if you've got like a male band, for example, when they do a gig and everyone's like, yeah, the music was good and there was talent, blah, blah, blah. When you're a woman, it tends to be about appearance. Whether you're a band, whether you're a dancer, it always like, oh, she's hot, oh my God, and I find that the narrative is around how they look and how they present themselves over their talent a lot of the time, which really riles me up. And especially as a dance group, we try, we rehearse and we work really hard to make our performances, top notch and as good as we can. It's very physical, so we're putting our bodies through a lot of, aches and pains and, and all this sort of stuff to create a good performance. And then when people are sort of judging you on the way you look, it's like, well, did you even see all the talent that was there then, So I definitely feel there has been a divide. And I do feel that we're not taking it seriously. We really are not taking it seriously as men in the rock and metal industry, which is my experience. Some people would maybe have a different experience, but that's how I've perceived it over the years.
So do you feel that you have to consistently justify your worth as a hardworking professional dance group when you're out in the live scene? Absolutely.
I think we've kind of got two disadvantages, because not only are we all female, we're also not a band. So I think the general sort of acceptance as just a dance group in and of itself is difficult, because many people don't see dance as a viable art form within metal and rock. Is only seen as you have to be a musician. But, for me, when I started this group, I was trying to say that, rock and metal particularly can include other forms of art. So I think we are continually justifying, and trying to, show people, well, yeah, when we do put on a show and people go, oh my God, that's amazing, that's so different. But trying to get to that part is the hardest part, to get promoters and venues and other bands to sort of take a punt on us, that's the biggest problem, I think, for me, because it is unusual. It's unusual in the fact we're all women. I think in a obviously I know you've been in the sort of rock scene before. It is a male heavy scene.
It's incredibly male dominated, and it feels like it does feel a bit like a boys' club, and that's not to honor the wonderful men that work within that scene and the music industry.
Oh, totally not.
But it is a boys' club, and there definitely seems to be this kind of tokenism where I kind of found in the rock and metal scene, when I was gigging a lot in that scene, that we were kind of tokenized. It was like, oh, a female fronted band, and it's like, why have I got to be tagged as a female fronted? We're a bunch of musicians making fucking awesome music.
Exactly. You don't really see people say a male fronted band, do you? And I've never seen that.
And that is my problem with it. It's not that people want to use a gender description that actually really bothers me. It's that the imbalance is they don't say, male fronted bands. And I find as well, like in the press, if they talk about, say, my act or your act or other women's acts, they're very descriptive of our aesthetic. So it'll be like, oh, she was wearing this figure hugging. And it's like, they don't say that about Mick Jagger. They don't say that about Dave Grohl. So why are you doing that to me?
And I think that's where a lot of my annoyances come from, because and you're right, like you said, they don't focus on the talent. They really don't. They like you said, they look at the aesthetics first, talent second. Whereas if it was a male sort of just all male group, would they talk about their body shape or how pretty they are or what they were wearing? No, they just say about the music. So it is this imbalance all the time, and it's sort of trying to to show people, no, I'm here because I have a talent.
So what kind of situations are you girls facing when you're out in your performance spaces?
When we're actually gigging, it's quite surprising. I find is before the gigging, that's the difficult part, convincing people to book us because they don't see us as relevant. When we're actually gigging, we've actually always been really well looked after, because once we've done our gig, a lot of people are sort of not apologetic, but like they kind of say, oh my God, I didn't realize that's what you did. I didn't realize that's how good you were. You know, we do turn them around. But, you know, there was one event, I won't name names, but there was one event we did where there was a green room and all the bands are using it. And we were performing all day. And the bands were on sort of in sections, as it was like, one band. We were on all day throughout the day. And we were told we couldn't use the green room because the bands had to rest. It was like, but we are here as well. Like, we're actually on the bill.
Yeah.
It's things like that where it's like we're like secondary to the band. And I've seen sort of promoters promote us as like a sideshow. And as women, I'm like, no, we are valid. We are valid in this space, and we are equal to everyone else performing.
Yeah, you're a professional act. I mean, you spend hours like rehearsing, looking at costumes, you've got the slog then of like, transporting everyone, accommodation if you're doing away event.
Yeah.
So much work you're promoting, you're doing all of those, those different roles that anyone has to do in any performance act.
Totally. And is not seen as being as valid as a band. And I think that's a mixture. I think that's a mixture of being different and also being female. We've had amazing venues. We've had amazing bands as well. Some of our bands we perform with regularly are fantastic, but there is just a minority of people who just don't accept us.
How does it make you feel?
It just makes me feel pissed off, to be honest, sometimes, because, it's like you said, we do put a lot of effort, time, money, energy. Most of us got kids and families and stuff. We're taking our time away from all that because we're passionate about what we do. We really are passionate and we really train hard. And to not be treated, with the courtesy and respect that I think we deserve, it used to dishearten me, but now it just makes me a bit angry because I know we're worth more than what people think we are. I do sometimes feel like, if we were a male group, would we be treated differently?
You kind of feel that from your side of things, part of the block is actually in the conversations with the booking agents and the promoters. And that's maybe an area that needs a bit more consideration when they're thinking about their lineups.
I do, both for us and for just groups with females in general. Because there are a couple of sort of festivals and a couple of venues that I know won't book women, or they'll book a token woman. Again, I won't name any, but there are some who've quite blatantly made that obvious that, like a boys club, women, we're bloody talented. There's some amazing bands and artists out there, and they're not given the same, platform as others. And I do feel sometimes it's tokenistic.
I've experienced that, and the one thing that I'm really passionate about is not creating a girls' club against the boys' club.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's about creating equilibrium where, we're all valued and we all feel valued, and that we're working together, and we're getting lots of diversity by having lots of different people on the bill.
Totally. And I think, we did a gig quite recently with Kenji Soundtrack, and, those boys, again, they're all male group, but they involve us in stuff. They want us to do stuff with them. There's no, they're a bunch of girls. It's nothing like that. It's very much like, you guys are really good. We are really good. Let's do something together. Why is there more of that?
As somebody attending a show as well, it's nice to have that diversity, where you've got that mix of visuals and sound. It's like really stimulating, and I know you girls are super high energy and you bring it every show and you interact with your audience, so booking agents, book the Metal Maidens. You are missing out, motherfuckers.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you haven't done or don't do because you are a woman?
I feel like I'm a little bit of an anomaly, to be honest, because of my sort of martial arts training. I do feel a little bit more comfortable in certain situations that other women I know are not. Like going out on your own at night, do men ever worry about that? Going into a bar on your own, you know, men can do it. It's not always comfortable for us. There's certain situations, like there's certain places I know, like our local pub, for example, you know, bunch of sort of regulars there, and some of them are misogynists, but it's allowed, it's accepted. But if I went in and talked the same way about men in there, would I be treated the same way, accepted, or would I be told?
You'd be told that you've got a bad attitude, that you're an angry woman, that you're frigid, that you don't like men, that
exactly.
Such bullshit.
Exactly. Being a mother as well, there's certain things I think that a lot of men assume is just your job. I know of men who won't do certain, you know, parent tasks because that's the woman's job, and all this crap that is just bullshit. Because if you're a parent, you're a parent. Just things like that as well. Is I feel like I can't really talk on behalf of a lot of women on that, but I do know other women feel like that. Yeah. So I think there are certain things women in general feel like they can and can't do because of their gender. And there's this whole thing, isn't it, around, you know, if your child's sick at school, do they ring first? Ma'am. Well, dad's quite capable of doing it as well.
Who's to say mum's not the one that's out working and dad is the one who's running the family life in the home, and that's a career in itself. I mean, totally. I don't have any children, but I've got lots of friends with children, and it's a bloody career, like they're doing.
It really is. I think, you know, I tell you an example actually of something I don't do as a woman. So I'm a gamer. I'm an online gamer. I love Call of Duty, which I know is really, you know, it's not the best game in the world, but me and my husband and friends, we play Call of Duty. I will never join a random lobby and put my mic on, because as soon as a random group of men think you're a woman, you get abuse.
No.
So men, so my friend Matt, he can go on to like a general group of men and play with randoms and be fine. I can't do that. So if I want to play, I either got to play on my own, play with people I know, or not put my mic on.
So what kind of things, are people saying in those forums?
Oh, as soon as they say you're a woman, get back in the kitchen, make me a sandwich. Yeah, I follow quite a few female gamers who post excerpts of their games. You know, I'm gonna come and fucking kill you. You're a dip, you're a bitch, you're shit, all that sort of stuff. And as a woman, you just think like, I game because I enjoy it, and if I hear that, I'm not going to enjoy it. So I'm just going to turn my mic off and turn, you know, the sound off. But why should we do that? Yeah. Why should I not be able to talk to my teammates?
Yeah. So you feel like you can't actually submerge yourself in the full experience of, you know, that world, the gaming world, because, you know, you're already kind of, you know, on the defense that verbal abuse is going to be coming at you.
Yeah, which is why I don't do it, which is why I only play with the people I know, because they will respect me and we'll have fun. And I think as a woman, you know, why it's not a, you know, and there's men who are like, oh, you know, it's a male thing, women are taking it from us. It's a game, you know, you're meant to enjoy it. Anyone can enjoy a fucking game.
Preach.
Yeah, it's a game, you know, and I think that really riles me up, because, you know, that to me, that just shows this contempt for women by a lot of men. You know, they believe that we should not infiltrate their time, but it's like, well, I'm allowed to buy a game. I'm quite capable of doing that. But yeah, that's one thing that I feel, you know, just to me shows how toxic it can be.
That's really, really sad. So, you know, guys, if you're in that gaming world and you have females coming into your space, welcome them in. Make a point of being the person who steps up and says, this kind of language, this narrative, this treatment is not okay. Be that dude.
Yeah. Doesn't tell me to make a sandwich.
Yeah, I'm shit at making sandwiches. Don't fucking ask me.
Yeah, exactly.
What is one thing you feel that we could do to help change the narrative around gender imbalance?
I think open conversations, particularly with people who are misogynistic, because I think it's like, as like you said earlier, I think we don't want to create a divide. But at the same time, we need to tell people that's not acceptable. I do think more men who are not misogynists need to step up more. There is that culture of men who will be like in a pub, and I don't know, one of their friends is making some sort of sexist remark, be that man who stands up and says, mate, don't say that, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think the more men we have on our side, because, and again, it's really unfortunate. I know there's an example about Andrew Tate. I don't know if you know about Andrew Tate, that absolute dick. But, you know, women have been saying how toxic he's been for, you know, months and months and months. Daz on YouTube does an interview about him, and all of a sudden people are listening because he's a man talking about him. And I think that's something we need to address, because women can give their emotions and opinions over and over again. A man has the same opinion, and all of a sudden everything's changed. Why did they only listen to men?
Yeah, it's funny because obviously I work as a songwriter and music producer, and I work on a lot of records with men, and I'm so regularly challenged. Like, you're not a music producer, you're just like the recording engineer, and I'm like, get out of my fucking studio.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, there's that thing of like more respect for a man. And like a woman can't possibly be, you know, the knowledgeable one, the expert. Women can't possibly be telling the truth when they tell their life experiences. But then as soon as a man backs their opinion up, all the men go, oh my God, I didn't realize he was so bad. You know, and it's like, well, it took a man to say that. And I think that's something we need to address. And, you know, it's brilliant these men are out there and fighting our corner, you know, amazing, you know, and I appreciate my husband, and I appreciate the people I know who are very feminist and very, you know, women are equal, blah, blah, blah. But it shouldn't just be their voice, should it? It should be ours. We should be taken seriously as them.
We do what we're doing right now. We open up conversations, and we act in a brave and bold way, and we share our experiences, and through doing that we can find commonality and, you know, create action to make change. But I think, you know, as well as asking men to please be mindful, I think as women we also have a responsibility to be mindful, because I know when I was younger working through the music industry, I allowed myself to kind of fall subject to playing that kind of sexy role, because I knew I would be responding better if I did that. And actually I'm not helping change that narrative if I behave in that way. And I'm not for 1 minute saying that women shouldn't be provocative. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be sexy.
Of course.
I'm not saying they shouldn't wear what they want to wear. But what I'm saying is I'm not by nature a provocative woman, you know, in that way. My sexuality is you know, it's private and it's shared at home with my relationship. It's not a way that I put myself out into the world. And when I was behaving like that, I didn't realize it, but I was being inauthentic.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I think that's important, because like you said, you know, if someone wants to be that way, that's their choice. But I think there shouldn't be an assumption. There shouldn't be this assumption that particularly if you're a performer, that you have to dress a certain way or look a certain way or act a certain way, because then you won't be taken as seriously. But we see it all the time, don't we? We see it all the time in media. You know, if a woman doesn't shave her armpits, and then she's suddenly like, oh, look at her, how was she on stage? That's disgusting. It's like, have you seen a man? You know, it's that thing, isn't it? Of like, well, that's her bloody choice. You know, and she doesn't look any less beautiful for it.
Yeah,
but that's just your, you know, it's that thing, isn't it, of like being who you want to be. It does take a lot of self-confidence, I think, though. I understand women who do things because they think they'll be perceived a certain way. Because I think, again, as women, we are told from literally the day we're born, you know, all the adverts on TV, isn't it? You know, shave your legs and do your makeup and be skinny and go to the gym and all this crap.
Be pretty, be pretty, be pretty.
Yeah, be pretty and silent, you know. And
how about be intelligent, be skilled, be passionate,
be opinionated, you know, be firm. And I do think that's a long road to go down, because I think so many women are still scared to come out of that box, because we are judged. There needs to be a big shift in society to allow women to be who they want to be and not fit in a box, you know. And I think people like me and you need to, we are, I know we're both quite vocal and quite comfortable in who we are. But I think the more women like us who are just, don't wear makeup, fine, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Maybe other women will start to go, do you know what? I don't want to either.
Exactly. I mean, I love makeup. I love playing with it. It's a really fun thing. It's a fun thing, but I don't rely on it. But I know when I was younger, I wouldn't even pop to the shop for milk without a full face. I'd be like, oh my God, how's the girl going to see me? No one actually gives a fuck,
Exactly.
And I've got more important things to do on some of my days than sit in the mirror for 2-3 hours, playing pretty.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Is all these things, there's nothing wrong with any of it as long as it's what you want to do. I'm like you, like I don't wear makeup daily. I can't be asked. But then like tonight, we've got a gig tonight. I'll enjoy doing it tonight because I'm like, I'll chuck some stuff on different colours and whatever, because I want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that at all. I want to. And I think we need to start empowering women to feel like they can do something, but they don't have to do it.
There's some crazy talented ladies who do some amazing makeup, and they look incredible. But
amazing.
When I walk past women in the street and they they're strong and they're confident and they've got not a scrap of makeup on, I'm like, that is a strong woman.
Yeah.
Because, she's just doing her thing, not worrying about social norms and conditioning, and she's just, rocking herself.
Yeah. Because again, do we judge men for not wearing makeup?
No.
We judge men for wearing makeup.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Why can't men wear concealer if they want to? Why can't they wear eyeliner if they want to?
And men that do, they're, the assumption is that, well, they're obviously gay. And actually, I know a lot of men that love wearing makeup, and they're straight cis males.
Yeah.
But
totally.
They also really enjoy playing around with aesthetic. And like, why have we got to, demasculate them because they enjoy playing around with a look?
Exactly. And I think there's this big gender stereotype that we still buy into, which is, is 2022. I thought we'd go over all this, but there is still this, men need to look a certain way and women need to look a certain way. Men act a certain way, women act a certain way, but we're all just people. We're just people, like, it doesn't matter what gender you are. If you're just a person, you want to do a thing, fine. It shouldn't be judged.
I totally agree. So have you got a positive sentence to share with anyone watching today?
Always just be yourself. And there are people out there who will support you. My group, we want women particularly, because I guess we resonate more with women because of what we do, but men as well. But, we are allies, we'll help you, we'll support you at gigs, particularly if you're, particularly women, if you're a woman at our gig and you feel uncomfortable, we will sort that shit out for you.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to get involved because I think, we need to be there for each other. And I think it's finding other people like ourselves to help each other. The more of us there are together, the more unstoppable we are.